Here with Alex Giorgio. Welcome to the video cast.
Pleasure to be here. First time I've been on in front of a camera like this, but this will be a cool little fun experience.
Well, you were pretty good on the mark at the CrossFit 3018 Partners Comp, so I reckon you'll go all right.
Yeah, let's hope it comes naturally, hey?
Awesome. Well, the reason I've got you here with me today is because I reckon you've been a fantastic asset to our team, and I'd love you to share some of your knowledge and experience.
Yeah, I'd love to. Ask away, let's get the show on the road.
Cool. Well, one of the things that inspires me most about you is your dedication to not only being a great athlete, but also being a fantastic coach.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And I think a great place to start would just be a little bit about your background. You know, how you got into exercise at all in the first place.
Well, exercise is just something that I fell in love with. I mean, my dad got me into sports very young. I played everything. I did absolutely everything. So I did little laths. I just hated being beaten. Trudeau, if anyone who knows me well in here will know exactly why.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, so I got into little laths. I got into surf lifesaving. I loved playing soccer. And was just driven just to try and do the best I could at whatever I tried to do. I mean, I was never ever the best kid, but you know, I would always win that participation award or that most improved award because I would just get in there and just give absolutely anything a go. Long story short, I was really bad at school. Not in the sense of behaviour, but in the sense of my grades were just bad. So I went to CEDA, which is still a program, so Sports Education and Development Australia.
Yep.
I'd done a couple of diplomas through that, and then I found that every job to run an event, they wanted experience for and degrees and stuff, which I just didn't have, being 19 years old. So I got into a personal training course, and I done fitness and massage.
Yes.
And I dropped playing soccer and that sort of thing. I was battling osteitis pubis, and also wanted to, as bad as it sounds, spend more time with my friends and do all that sort of stuff.
Typical 19-year-old boy.
Yeah, typical 19-year-old boy. I wanted to act up, and it was getting in the way of that as well. So something had to give, so I gave up soccer and I got more into the gym as I was doing my PT certs and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Landed my first job at Perfect Health and Wellness, which I still work part-time at today, in an on and off thing.
How awesome is that?
7.5 years on. And and then basically from that point there, I found CrossFit. You know, I saw someone, funnily enough, with a rope climbing injury come in, a workmate of mine, Mick Simonetta, and just like, how'd you do that? And he goes, I do this CrossFit thing at Swartz's CrossFit Melbourne. I went down and did this. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, YouTube it. And I was just like, I'm getting into that. That's cool. So never looked back. Like, that's what I wanted to specialise in. And I've just been lucky enough that I put in the hard yards, as we'll sort of talk about as we sort of go on. But and then I'm like, I want to do this for a career. This is what I love doing. You know, I never rock up to coaching, even though I've got up at 4 a.m. to drive to be here and go, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm always happy to be here, and you know, it's great to see that the people here have adapted really well to me, and they're happy for me to be here too, and that makes it
Absolutely.
worthwhile and makes it a heap of fun. And
so tell us, what do you love most about coaching? Obviously there's so many things.
yeah,
But what lights you up?
I love seeing people progress. So like the things that make me happy, even though I didn't get to see it, but social media is a lovely thing this day. When I use the example of like Theodora.
Yeah.
Like I was fortunate enough to show her through some toes to bar progressions, because she just couldn't link them together. She's doing that one swing stop thing that if you're a CrossFitter you understand. You've probably all been there before. And I just gave her some progression and stuff. I said, look, do some 3/4 ones so you can get your rhythm, and then from there I said, you've got the strength there, it'll probably come naturally. And just through giving like a couple of seconds with a cue, I see this video on Instagram for a girl who can't do 2 toe to bar together, smash out 8 or 9 or something ridiculous, and the look on her face of happiness and joy. That to me is what it's all about. I mean, it's not all about coaching those super fit athletes that can smash together 10 muscle ups and, you know, snatching nearly 100 kilos and that sort of stuff. That's cool, and don't get me wrong, I love doing that too. That's a lot of fun for me, because I'm in that sort of boat too. But seeing stuff like that happen, that inside makes me feel all warm and fuzzy and happy. So that's why I do what I do.
Yeah. And people really don't know what their potential is. And that's one of the great reasons why people really should get a coach who can see their potential and see the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we're looking at athletes, like, I just love seeing people that are driven. It's great to see people's mentality and mind shift from, even you look at something like an assault bike that's really sort of difficult, and you see someone in that sort of that phase where, like, they're just like, oh man, I don't want to go again. And then you see the mentality change over time, where you just see their eyes are on and they're just focused, and they're focused on their breathing and all these things that you've taught them. And you're like, once again, that's rewarding, because you can see the mentality shifter going from, I can't do this, to no, I can. I just need to just stay disciplined, stay strict, and it'll all be over soon. I can get through this. And then that's rewarding with it too. Teaching people not only be physically stronger and mentally stronger here, but, you know, as we say with CrossFit, and everyone's like, that's just such a CrossFitter's shit thing to say, but it will carry on to your life. When stuff gets hard, you'll be like, oh yeah, you know, like, I've been through this before. Yeah. And you get that same feeling getting a workout when it's horrible, but you know you'll get through it. So that's kind of cool.
It does carry over. I think also what carries over is those athlete attitudes of digging in, going hard, hanging through the tough times, and being really focused and disciplined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over from football, soccer, tennis, sport in general. And, you know, one thing that you're really good at is getting people to utilise those attitudes and behaviours to make them a better CrossFitter. Yeah. Not just for the purpose of CrossFit, but just getting a good result.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, like, attitude is everything. You know, the body will only do what the brain tells it. So if you're going into you know, for the more advanced guys, I don't want beginners doing this, but if you're going into a heavy lift, or, you know, you're about to attempt something that's quite difficult for you, if you tell yourself, I don't know how this is going to go, every time I've said that to myself personally, it's never worked out. If I'm ever going for a heavy snatch or a heavy clean or a jerk, and I go, I don't know how this is going to go, it's never worked, or if it has worked, it's a questionable looking rep. I mean, you just got to go in with eyes on, or just that mentality of, I can do this, and get in there and just focus on what you need to do to get the job done.
Yeah.
And that's really important. That athlete mentality is really important. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. That same principle will apply the whole way through. And I mean, it's one of those things where hard work will beat talent until talent starts trying. Yeah. And if you're willing to work hard, you know, you can achieve great things. Well, in my opinion, you can anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And smart, of course.
And how does being a beginner or a new person affect how you deal with your athletes?
It affects things greatly. So I see a lot of great coaches out there, and don't get me wrong, I don't see myself as, you know, like a guru, like
someone who's arrived and you can't get any better.
Yeah, exactly right. Like I see myself as, I need to grow a lot, both obviously as an athlete, as a person, as a coach. You know, I've got a lot of growth to do, but I just like to pass on what I know. And for a beginner athlete, and I see a lot of coaches, a lot of new coaches especially, do this wrong, where they almost overwhelm their PT clients, and they try and give them too much, or they make it too advanced, or they try and progress them on too quickly. Yeah. Progression isn't a linear thing. You don't just get from point A to point B overnight or over a certain period of time. Progression looks like this. Like, there'll be times in your athletic career or your training where things go really good, you'll get a lot better. And then there'll be times where you will plateau, and you'll have to figure out why you're plateauing and figure out what you need to do to get better.
That's right.
And reverting back to the simple things is always best. Okay. If something works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people kind of go wrong. They go, my program isn't working, you know, or this isn't working, or that's not working. I followed this program and it was shit. But it's like, hang on a second. Programming is just letters and numbers on a bit of paper, and people forget that. How you apply yourself and your external factors around that, being obviously like, you know, your sleep, quality of nutrition, and your attitude, they're all factors that make the program work. Yes. I mean, it's not just the exercise itself, and a lot of people kind of forget that, and they're looking for this magic bit of paper, It's like, this is what's going to make me good because I saw so-and-so do this and it worked. There's that so-and-so's put in a lot of hard yards on the other side of things as well.
That's right.
So we're a little bit off topic there, but that's a thing. Like, if I was giving you new coach advice, the simple things are best. Do what you do well, and don't just grab something off YouTube that look cool and work for someone else, and grab that without actually trialing, making sure it works for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you working with beginner athletes, that means simplifying the approach.
Yeah,
so
totally.
They're safe and healthy. And
I mean, I'll use snatching for example. Like, everyone wants to get a video of their beginner client doing this amazing full snatch from the ground after like 3 weeks, but it just doesn't work that way. You know, like, you got to work from hang and learn just how to hang power and learn the basic principles for how the movement works, and then just build it up. So. Otherwise, you're going to overwhelm your athletes, and your athletes are going to go, this is too hard. Like, what they're trying to get me to do just seems like something that I'll never be able to do. So I think it's just, simple baby steps, and just remember that your progression isn't going to be linear. It's going to take time, and good things take time, but if you're willing to work for it, you'll get it.
And then some clients are really stiff, and some people are older, and some people are dealing with aches and pains.
Yep. So it goes back to when people say, how long will it take me to do this? And I say, how long is a piece of string? Because of all those factors that Trico just mentioned, it comes down to, how's your mobility? How's your quality of life outside of training to help you with your training? All that sort of stuff. Are you naturally gifted with mobility, or you're like me, or you're as tight as a tin man and you've got to stretch for half an hour before every session just to get your arms above your head? There's all those sort of things, but you just do the best you can with what you've got, and try and make yourself that little bit better each time. And that's what counts. Like, do the 1%ers, and over time you'll look back and go, hey, I used to do this, this, and this with my life, and now I do this, this, and this. So it's just like, I used to drink 6 stubbies every night, and if you're going back to drinking like 6 stubbies on the weekend and you're not drinking during the week, that's like, that in itself, people might look at me and go, well, no, you're an idiot for saying that, but that for me is progress.
Yeah.
Like, that is a step in the right direction.
And
that's all you need to do, is just keep taking steps in the right direction. And pick someone who's able to guide you in the right direction in itself. Yeah.
And as far as coaching goes and personal training, that's something that you obviously offer, and
absolutely.
There's a good reason why you do, and I think a lot of people aren't aware of the benefits of taking on personal training alongside a good program.
Yeah.
But you've had some great success.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to work in a few different places and work with a lot of different people. And also lucky enough that if you ask 90% of the people that work with me, especially my later years of training, like all people when you're new to a profession, you
fumble your way through
a little bit. But I've got some really cool results with people, and it was humbling to come back to Perth and just be able to just see how much it's sort of, I was able to get some people that were pretty stagnant with their training, get them back on their feet, and then they're sending me videos where they've hit, on a testing week through their programs, they're like, we hit 3 PRs. I PR'd my power snatch, my full snatch, my squat, my jerk, whatever, and I was just like, geez, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, wow, once again, it was just simple changes I made. I didn't try and go too big. It was just like, I just focused on a couple of things with these athletes.
Yes.
And the simple things went a long way. And because you taught me how to use my legs better, or because you taught me, those transitional, how to warm up properly for a muscle up, now I can do doubles. And I could only do singles before, just by practicing a few simple things. So I think that's the thing, it's like anything, as coaches, and I love this saying, we can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, we've got the tools to help you and help you get better if that's what you so choose. And I mean, you've got to choose what you want to get out of CrossFit, in my instance, and what you want to do. If you want great open results, then don't try and fumble through it alone. Pay that little bit extra, get someone who's actually going to be able to help you, and has been there and done it before.
That's right.
There's no point picking some bloke, and I hate to be very, I'm trying to think of the right term, judgmental.
Let's just go for it.
Yeah, let's just go for it. Who's 50, 60 kilos overweight, and he's only ever done an 8-minute frame in his life, and his best open result is 4,000th in Australia. They're probably not the right person who's going to, if you want to break into the top 1,000, get you along the way. you want to pick somewhere who's been there and done that before, or at least has got the knowledge and the know-how to get you there, and is at least trying to better themselves.
There's that saying of stand on the shoulders of giants. People that have been there before, they've done that, and they can show you the way, give you the perspective, and
totally
make that journey better and easier.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. Like, the best people are going to be people who practice what they preach, and that's just what you need to go for when you're looking for a good coach. Someone who's willing to practice what they preach and is not afraid to get their hands dirty, so to speak. So, like I've said to a lot of my clients and a lot of my athletes, I would never program you something that I wouldn't go out and do myself.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, is uncharacteristic. If I say, hey, Trico, I expect you to run, 10 kilometers tomorrow, but if you said to me, would you do that? And if I say no, then that's an unfair expectation on my part. Or I'd want a pretty bloody good reason for putting you in that scenario.
Pretty good understanding of why you're doing what you're doing and how that's going to work for that.
Yeah, exactly right. How that's going to work and transpire into something better for that athlete.
So tell us, you're all over Victoria and Melbourne at the moment, but what days are you here at CrossFit 3018?
So at the moment I'm here on a Tuesday, Friday and a Saturday morning.
Yeah, and you've got a bit of flexibility around that as well.
Yeah, I've got a bit of flexibility around that. Like at the moment I try and make it work between the two.
And tell us what days you're at Perfit as well at the moment.
At the moment I'm at Perfit Monday, and I'm also at Perfit on I've forgotten, Wednesday and a Thursday. But yeah, just depending on how it all sort of goes, hey, like I try and, so basically long story short,
tell us what's the best way to get in touch with you, because really what you want is people contacting you, having a good first initial chat to see how they can benefit and get to know them, and then make a move from there.
One of these guys. So just use your phone. So I've got Alex, the CrossFit coach page. I've got my personal page. Just the interwebs is a great thing this day and age. Just jump on social media, jump on Instagram, jump on Facebook, and just go there and there's a couple of examples. If you like what you see and you want to know more, just get in touch. Like even if you just want questions, if you just got questions about a certain something, obviously fitness related, I can't help you with your life. I can't even sort out my own. But yeah, I can try and help you as best as I possibly can. Yeah, more than happy to spend 5 minutes on the phone with someone and talk about stuff, especially while I'm commuting. Like, I'd be more than happy to have a chat at 4:30 in the morning when I drive from Ballarat to here. Then it would make my trip a whole lot better.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate having you here as a coach, and
thank you.
You guys out there, if you're watching, I'd love you to give Alex a buzz or a message and just start a relationship with him, have a chat and see if he's got some value that you think might be useful, because it's been fantastic having you around.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And my energy and what I do is lifted because you're here.
So thanks, man.
I wish the best for everyone else.